Hey guys, welcome to COR Meets World with your host, Corey Brandon. And today we are finally back. We have a solo episode. It has been far too long with no solo episodes. We have had guests, and we have loved our guests. We've had some amazing guests these past few weeks. We had Mary Esposito on. We had Sam Williams on in our last episode. And of course, we had Jalea Taylor a few weeks ago. All such great guests. I appreciate them so much for coming on. But with that being said, we are finally back with our very first video solo podcast, which I'm so excited about. I was really worried about, the solo video podcast. I don't know, because like the lighting in here is actually better than I thought it was going to be. So kudos for that. I was really excited about that. But yeah, we don't need to waste any time here. So much has happened since our last solo episode. We have spent so much time talking about other people with our guest episodes. We have dived into a lot of our guests, which was so interesting, and genuinely I appreciate so much for coming on the podcast. Like I don't even know that it was just, I really appreciate anyone who like takes the time out of their day to sit and talk with me. So yeah, just really appreciate everyone who took the time to come on COR Meets World. Loved all our guests. But with that being said, let's dive into the core in COR Meets World. Let's talk about me, because we haven't had a solo episode in like a month or something. I don't know. Was it a month? I don't know. It's been a really long time either way. And I want to dive into me so bad. Like there's so much has happened with me since our last solo episode, where like I have so much to update y'all on. So I think in our last episode, it was right before I was going to New York for spring break. And let me just say, I don't even know where to start. I literally don't even know where to start. Like I guess I could start with spring break. Okay, yeah, let's do that. Let's go in a sequential order. Let's start with spring break. So, guys, all of my life updates that I have to give are like gonna be centered around the power of manifestation. And I know we have talked about this a lot, and I know y'all are probably tired of hearing about it. However, it needs to be talked about. Like, genuinely, everything that has happened so far. And let me just preface by saying, I have never been better. Like, genuinely, I probably am the happiest and the most satisfied with my life right now that I've ever been. I know it's not saying much as a 20-year-old, but it kind of is. Just, like before I dive into this, and I genuinely attribute that to my hard work, yes, but manifestation also, yes. Like, I genuinely feel like 2024 has just shown me the power of manifestation, and how belief in something really is all you need. And that sounds so cliche and so stupid and so but it's true. So yeah, let's start. Let me stop yapping and let's start the story. So for spring break, I obviously went to New York. Honestly, I will say this too. If you're a COR Meets World listener, please follow my main Instagram, because I literally post all the time and you would know what I'm doing. But anyway, yeah, so I went to New York for spring break with JP Morgan, of course. Little plug there. JP Morgan, yeah. So spring break wasn't that much of a break. It was a work trip, but yeah, so I had made it through the application process and was invited to New York by JP Morgan for a interview super day. So they flew me to New York. But I was also, that same week, I had also got into another program also with JP Morgan for that Friday. So I had a program Monday and Tuesday, and then I had another separate program also with JP Morgan in the same exact building on Friday. So instead of me flying up and flying back, they just let me stay, and they paid for me to stay for the week. So I got really, I'm not going to say lucky. I worked hard for that. But anyway, yeah, that just really ended up working out for me. And I just saw this as an opportunity, because I saw like a few of my friends also like didn't have spring break plans. So I was like, oh, you guys can come and like stay with me, and we can just spend the days I'm not at JP. Like we can spend those days just hanging out, and you can stay in my hotel room or whatever. So my friends Comfort Zab and Justin, they came up and we started our trip or whatever. I went to the office for JP Morgan on Monday, and I'm going to be honest, I didn't really understand the caliber of what I had gotten into, I guess. When I got there, I was kind of like just a shock because the kids that were there were very intimidating. Very, very intimidating. They were like finance to their core. They knew what they were there for. I didn't know what I was there for, really. I was just exploring the banking industry. I just wanted to learn more. They didn't have anything else to learn. They were there, for their offer, and they knew how to get it. So after meeting them the first day, I was like, oh, I'm cooked, Sorry, I keep drinking water. I'm doing it so I don't cough. I was like, I'm cooked. These kids are so talented. These kids are so smart. These kids are, I just really didn't have hope. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna make this trip fun. I made it here. I made it this far, and that's something to be proud of. And I was like, I don't even expect to get an offer. Especially from a firm like JP Morgan. I was like, why would they want me? So then the second day we had an interview super day, and I was like, I was telling the kids there, I was like, I'm not that prepared for this. I didn't study for any technicals. I'm not prepared. I don't even fully understand the role that I'm interviewing for. This was a 2025 role, by the way, but we'll get to that. I was like, I'm just going to have fun meeting new people, meeting these execs, meeting these top people at JP Morgan that are going to be interviewing me. And I'm just going to have a good time and connect with some people. And they thought that was crazy. When I told kids there that, they were like, oh, that's really wild. Because they were there and had studied for technicals and were treating this so seriously, right? And I was like, I'm going to go in and have fun. Turns out, I went in and had fun. And my interviews went amazing. It was that day that I realized that all the interviewing I had been doing for internships and the grinding I had been doing these past few months, people don't understand the hours that I have spent applying to things and interviewing for things, and how I have been interviewed so many times for so many things that I didn't get. And every interview that I did, I didn't realize it until in this moment at JP Morgan, it was making me an expert at interviewing. And not an expert, I'm just saying, not an expert. I shouldn't have said that. My bad. It made me better at interviewing. It made me seasoned at interviewing and comfortable with interviewing. I should have said that. My bad. It was making me really comfortable with interviewing, and I didn't realize how comfortable I was with interviewing until that day, because I was just the way I always describe it. It was like I was taking a back seat to someone else talking when I was answering these questions, and it was so seamless and it was so natural and authentic, and I was truly connecting with these people. And after the 3 interviews, I was like, I went in there to have fun, but I kind of ate. I kind of did great, and I wasn't taking it that serious at all. I was just trying to be myself, and that sounds so cliche, but it's so true. I promise. I was just trying to be myself and whatever. And I was like, I just kept telling myself, I was like, you probably won't get it. These kids are way smarter than you. They're way more experienced, and they've prepared more for this than you have. So I fully didn't expect to get an offer. But, the next day I woke up at 10:05. I got the call at 10:16 a.m. from a New York number. And I was like, and I knew that if I got an offer, I would be called. So when I saw the New York number, I was being called. I was like, oh my God, there is no way. But I pick up the phone, and I was so happy I was awake. I had just woken up. I still had the groggy voice and everything. I was sitting there watching TikToks in the bed of the hotel. And my friends were all asleep. And I picked up the phone, and I'll never forget. He says, hey, Corey. He says, this is, what was his name? I want to say his name was Christopher or something. I think it was Christopher. And when I heard that, I was like, oh my God, there was a Christopher. My brain just started turning. I was like, this is the name of the person that interviewed me yesterday. And he just kept going. He was like, my name is Christopher. He was like, hey, it's Christopher. It was so nice talking to you yesterday, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, oh my God, there's no way this is happening. There's no way this is happening. And the thing is, it felt like he was talking for an eternity before he finally said the words. And it was this entire time he was talking, I was like, there's no way this is happening. There's no way this is happening. There's literally no way. And he said, he kept going on and on. He was like, this is a highly competitive process. I just want you to know. And I was like, there's no way he's calling me to reject me. And I was like, what is he talking about? And then he goes, we were very impressed by you yesterday, and we would like to offer you the role for 2025. And I was just in shock. Like, I know he probably could hear this, like, the disbelief through the phone. Like, I froze. I was like, there's no way this just happened to me. I don't even know how to describe the feeling I felt in that moment. It was almost like, it was like that one moment. It was like that moment that most people felt when they got into their dream college. I didn't feel that way when I got into all my target schools. I don't know why. I still felt a sense of unfulfillment. I don't know if that's a word. I still felt the sense of desiring more, like when I got into like top colleges. But this moment was like that one moment of clarity where I was like, everything paid off. Like I just couldn't believe it. I still can't really believe it. Even though at this point I have signed the offer for 2025 with JP Morgan. And like the thing is, like, I kid you not, like, I still don't believe it. I still haven't fully like processed it, and it's been like a month. That's so funny, but it's so like, I mean, it's true. Like, I think it's been exactly a month. Now that oh my God. It's so funny. I just realized it's been exactly 1 month today that I received that call. It was March 12th. Wow. That's really funny. But anyway, yeah. So yeah, I fully didn't believe that, that was the case. I'm still processing it. But yeah, and then, that's not all that happened that day. Not that day. Oh, wait, I might be. That's not all that happened that week. I also got I got an email, and I was reading the email, and I kept rereading it, and I was just like, so basically I got an email from CBRE, just for, not in a bragging way, but just for context. JP Morgan, obviously the largest bank in the world. CBRE, just for context, is the largest commercial real estate firm in the world. If you know me, real estate is my thing. So yeah, I get this email from CBRE. Obviously, I love commercial real estate. That sounds so stupid, but I do. I'm sorry. I love commercial real estate. When I got an email from a recruiter from the biggest commercial real estate firm in the world globally, like no one's even really close. The same week that I received an offer from JP Morgan, the largest bank in the world, when I received an email from their recruiter requesting to interview me for this summer 2024. Imagine how I felt. I literally couldn't believe it. I'm staying in the city of my dreams for free, like for my spring break. Like, just imagine how this week felt for me, and I immediately respond, and I say, obviously it's CBRE, obviously I'm going to respond immediately. And what was really funny about this situation, well, I'll get there in a second, but let me not get ahead of myself. But yeah, I set my availability. I interviewed while I was still in New York. So the day after I received my JP Morgan offer, I interviewed with CBRE. And the interview goes amazing again. And I'm just like, I was like, oh my God, this is so insane. Like, why am I getting, okay. But I just remember, like, after the CBRE interview went so well, I was just like, there's no way this is possible. Like, I don't know why. I feel like maybe I'm selling myself short with these opportunities when I say, like, there's no way it's possible for me to receive this opportunity. Maybe I'm selling myself short, maybe I'm not. But it's just like, I felt like, I was like, it would be so unbelievably insane for me to receive an offer from, JP Morgan and CBRE. These are the two of the largest like firms in the world. Like my dream internships that I never even thought I'd get close to getting, and they're just falling in my lap. And this all comes back to manifestation, because this is all happening, and both of these positions are in New York. I'm in New York right now, obviously, for this during the spring break. I promise this is going to go by faster once I get past this week, but this week was just action-packed, y'all. A lot happened. I'm so sorry. But what was I saying? This is just too much to cover at once. Y'all don't understand. But I was just like, too much is going my way. And the thing is, like, I manifested this so heavily. I don't think y'all understand how heavily I manifested this. In my journal, when I was journaling going into 2024, I wrote these specific exact things. I said, I will receive internships and opportunities of my dreams. And I think my exact words were, it will feel as if they fell into my lap. And that's exactly how this felt. And I bet you're asking why. Okay, wait. Let me just also explain why CBRE, like I said, I already explained how the caliber they're at, why their recruiter emailed to interview me. The internship that I'm doing this spring, and like I've said, I talked about how much I've been doing this spring, how much work I've put on myself, all that. But the commercial real estate internship this spring, the company that I was interning with has a partnership with CBRE, of course. And they said they saw my resume in a resume book for my current internship, my spring internship. And they said, hey, this looks like a good candidate. We want to interview him. So while it wasn't, I don't know but that's why, that's how they explained it to me. But yeah, so then, I spend the rest of my time in New York, love the city. New York City has always been a place that I've loved, a place that I have been saying I'm going to live at. I have been saying I am going to live in New York City since I was a kid. Like, I've always known that's where I wanted to be. I've always felt like that's where I belonged. And I always said, no matter where I go to college, when I graduate college, I am going straight to New York City, and that's where I'll spend my 20s. I've always said that. And it's like in a matter of, I don't even know, in the matter of a week, I've made those dreams all came true. But anyway, as I was saying, sorry. Let me circle back. What was I saying? Oh, yeah. So then I just spent the rest of the week in New York City, went back to JP Morgan on Friday, talked to some incredible people. So, and that's another thing. JP Morgan, their employees are the nicest, they're so real. They're, vibrant, happy. They love their job. They like each other. Like, the vibe there was just amazing. And I'm so excited to be there, in 2025 next summer. But yes, so that was the end of the break. I thought the interview went great, right? And then a few weeks later, I received an email. I got an offer from CBRE, and like I don't even know how to put into words. Look, I don't even know how to put into words what that felt like. I'm genuinely racking my brain trying to describe it to y'all. I genuinely felt like nothing was real because of how hard. Looking back now, after a lot of reflection and processing of these two things happening, I reflected and looked back, and I was like, well, I mean, you have done the work. And I was like, because for a while I was just like, is this just luck? Am I just really lucky? And then I realized, you kind of did do the work a little bit. You kind of deserve it. I don't know. Maybe you do deserve it a little bit. Maybe you do deserve it a little bit. I don't know. But yeah. Yeah, got those two offers, and honestly, I feel like it changed my life because now I have this summer I'll be spending it in New York City with CBRE, doing what I love, commercial real estate, learning hopefully so much. Next summer, I'll be back in New York City with JP Morgan, also learning so much, hopefully. So excited about that. And yeah, like professionally, that's the professional update of my life. Yeah. What else? What? What? I'm so stuck, y'all. I'm sorry. Because like I said, genuinely still processing the fact that these two things happened. So just talking about them fully, like I am, like right now, is still like kind of a lot. It's a lot, like, for me to process. Like, I genuinely just don't believe that this actually happened. Like, so weird. But yeah, so like such a heavy weight lifted off my shoulder. So I feel like it's just anyway. Yes. So yeah. My whole For You page is just like New York City apartments. Like, I don't know. I've been really locked into the New York thing recently. Like, I'm gonna spend 2 summers there. I'm literally going there in a month. 2 months. I think my internship starts June 3rd, so I'll be there. Wow, I still can't believe this. I'm so sorry. I'm still processing it. Well, we're gonna move on, I promise. But yeah, like those two things happening really just made me realize like how I did put the work in, and like I do deserve it. Like, and like coming to that realization was really hard for me because I, like I said, I feel like I do sell myself short a lot, and the thing actually happened. And apart from professional life, personal life, amazing as well. Like I am very very satisfied with a lot of things going on right now with me, and that's not necessarily rare. Like I'm pretty much my personal life I feel like is always pretty good. I mean, not much goes on there. Yeah, I mean, yeah, live, laugh, love. I don't really know what else to say about that. Academically, I'm in all like other classes I'm in are really fun. I actually enjoy them, so everything's going good there. So yeah, like there's not much like really like I'm just really at peace, like genuinely. Like I am having such a good time. Like obviously I'm really busy still, but like I love being busy. It's like my whole thing. It's really fun. I really like doing a lot. Ew, did y'all hear that like wheeze in my like throat? That was really weird. Sorry. But yeah, I love being busy. I have like 3 meetings after this today, and it's my day off. I don't have class on Friday, but I have 3 meetings. And usually I would have practice, but that's canceled today. So anyway, but yeah, so like I love being busy, staying busy, the normal stuff. As far as I go, that was my big updates. Like I'm genuinely like nothing else is really going on. There's other things I'm working on, like internally kind of, but like we're not gonna have a therapy session here. That's not what this is. This is not that. We'll get there one day though. But yeah, like I'm really like kind of removing a lot of the things that do bother me, and like those toxic things that are not toxic. Toxic is such a dramatic word. There's no toxic things in my life. Why did I use the word toxic? Just things that I don't really like. Like I'm still working on removing those. Like Tinder, gone. I hated Tinder actually, and I didn't realize how much I hated it until it was gone. So at peace now. Like talking to people on a dating app, like why? You know what I mean? Like I don't know. It's just so weird. I actually didn't realize. It's just like one of those things like I feel like everybody does, but like nobody knows why. Like why am I on Tinder, bro? Like be for real. But I don't know. I feel like, yeah. I mean, I feel like when I got to a point of like, I'm not gonna say self-worth, but I was just kind of like, I'm kind of too good to be on Tinder. I don't know. I feel like that makes me too accessible. Like, let me not sound like a narcissist. I'm not saying that people on Tinder, because I've been on Tinder, but I'm saying like, I don't know. I feel like for me personally, I was like, being on Tinder makes me too accessible to everyone, and I just feel like if someone's interested in me, you need to just put in the effort, bro. I don't know, and I don't show interest in other people, If you know me, you know that. Like, if someone wants to, like, I don't know. I don't think I'm the dating type anyway. I feel like, yeah, ew. It's kind of gross. Yeah, it's just not for me. I feel like I've yet to find. Oh, I'm really trying not to sound like a narcissist. I promise. But like, genuinely, I've yet to find someone that like is. I'm gonna just save that because I think y'all know what I'm about to say, and I'm gonna just leave it at that. Right? Y'all know what I was about to say, right? There's, especially on this campus, I just don't see anyone around that can match me. Let's say that. I'm PR trained, y'all. I know how to get around stuff without getting canceled. I don't think there's anyone that matches me. Yeah, I ate that. Like, nobody's here yet, and that's okay. Maybe one day we'll get there, and when that happens, y'all will be the first to know. But yeah, I know we covered this a little bit in the episode with Sam Williams, but I do want to jump into Cowboy Carter. I want to jump into Cowboy Carter really quick. Right now I'm pulling up the track list because I want to talk to y'all about how each song, because genuinely this album to me was so good, and it definitely had an impact on me, not in like a dramatic way, just like I was just like this. I feel like this is an experience, and I feel like this is one of the best albums. Not necessarily one of my I'm not necessarily saying this is my favorite album in years, but I will say this is one of the best like albums objectively that we've had. I know there's like best and objectively don't work, but you know what I mean. Like quality wise and story and what it truly means to be an album. I feel like this album kind of got it for the past 10 years. There's not an album that really touches this, in my opinion. Because American Requiem is amazing. Just to start off, like, American Requiem was beautiful. She kind of introduces the album with why she made the album, she covers that, and then the Blackbird cover, the Blackbird Beatles cover, beautiful. 16 Carriages, y'all know how I feel about 16 Carriages. We covered that when it dropped because that was the single with Texas Hold'em. Protector, be a protector, is that the song is? Yeah, that's the one with Rumi on it. Yeah, Protector is so beautiful. It makes me really excited to have children. If I have kids, like, she literally says, I know one day you're gonna have to shine on your own. I know you're gonna shine on your own one day, but I'm gonna be your projector. Like, I was just like, wow, that's some writing right there. My Rose is beautiful. Texas Hold'em is a really good song. Bodyguard is one that I feel like nobody really talks about, but it's so good. And in the summer, Bodyguard is gonna be it. Like, Bodyguard is gonna be the song, I feel like, for a lot, not the song, like, not like the summer hit, but I mean, like, it's gonna be really nice to hear in the summer. The Jolene cover was great. Daughter is one of the best songs I think that has been released in a while. How do you do opera on a country song? That's insane. Alligator Tears, amazing. Just for Fun, this was a skip for me, and now one of my favorites. Just for Fun is such a beautiful song, and it's not what you like. Hearing your title Just for Fun, it doesn't sound the way you would think it sounds. Two Most Wanted, one of my favorite songs in the past few years. It's the way her and Miley's voices almost sound like they're intertwined and kind of in conflict with each other, but also embracing each other. That sounds like I just said a whole lot of nothing, but I know what I mean. You know that TikTok sound where it's like, where Kamala Harris is like, you exist in the context of all in which came before you, in which you are and what came before you. She said a whole lot of nothing, and that sounds like exactly what I just said when I was trying to explain Too Much Wanted, but I know what I meant, and maybe Kamala knew what she meant, because you know what I mean. Maybe you don't. I don't know. Anyway, moving on. Levi's Jeans with Post Malone was amazing. Oh my god, like, it was so good. I love that song. Desert Eagle was a skip for me at first. Now I love it. Riverdance is okay. It's pretty good. Probably my least favorite on the album, but I still really like it. Two Hands to Heaven was a skip for me at first. Now I love that song. It's so good, especially with what they're doing with it on TikTok. Tyrant, amazing. When I first heard this song, I was like, whoa, like this is something different. Sweet Honey Buckin' is actually one that I feel like gets kind of slept on, considering. Oh, hold on. I feel like Sweet Honey Buckin' gets kind of slept on, considering the concept of it. Like, so the song, if you look at the album, the song is sweet, and then there's a star, and then honey, and then there's a star, and then buckin'. That's the way it's written. But I didn't realize that the song is literally broken up between sweet, honey, and buckin'. Maybe y'all realized that immediately. I didn't realize that like at all. It's literally sweet. Like there's the beginning, and it's like sweet, and she's singing like, you know, like she's singing a song, and it's like sweet, right? And then she goes into the honey part, and then after that she goes into the buckin', like a mechanical bull, buckin', like that. That was a good song. And then obviously Amen is the last song, and Amen fades back into American Requiem, and yeah, it's just a beautiful album. Sorry for sniffling. That it was just a gorgeous album. I love this album. I feel like genuinely one of Beyonce's best albums. Hot take. And I'm excited for the tour. I will be getting a cowboy hat. Don't worry. And the last thing I wanted to talk about is my experience at Dreamville. If you don't follow me on Instagram, please go look at the pictures. I might, depending on how I feel when I edit this, I might put some pictures of me on the thing. Probably won't though, because you need to go to my Instagram and look at all the pictures. Look at my posts probably. But my main Instagram, y'all should follow my main Instagram, but if you don't follow my main Instagram, it's Corey M. Brandon. That's all it is. There's no excuse for not finding it. COREYMBRANDON. Just my name, Corey M. Brandon. It's not that hard. But go on there and look at my Dreamville pictures. I love Dreamville for the most part. It was really fun. Really, really fun. The energy there was amazing. Everybody's outfits were really interesting and cool. There were so many cool people we met. Obviously I went with my friends who, you know, I love my friends so much. I went with Comfort, Dylan, David, and Sarah. We had such a fun time. Yeah, it was a really good time. Sexyy Red's performance was amazing. And not just because of like any like production or like set or anything. It's just her energy and the way she can command a crowd, and the way her songs are kind of perfect for performing. And getting a crowd and keeping a crowd hype. So I was really surprised by Sexyy Red. Sexyy Red did great. 50 Cent was there. And then SZA, of course. Of course, she did great for what I saw from SZA. Like, obviously, it's SZA. Like, she can do no wrong. And then, yeah, that was the highlights of day one. There were more, but, you know. Day two, Monica did great. She was late, but she did good. Jeezy did good. Jeezy did a really good job commanding the crowd. The crowd was really hyped for Jeezy from what I remember. And then obviously what I was there for, what we were all there for, what we were all waiting for, what y'all are waiting to hear about, Nicki Minaj. Nicki, okay, I will say, Nicki was late, but I was fully expecting her to be late. As a fan, we know Nicki, when she does a festival, even on her tour, she's late. She's always late. That's her thing. She's always been late. Like, she's never really on time. So like, obviously, like, we went to see her early, so we got to the stage early so we could be as close as possible. We got barely close, I would say. She was late. Everybody was upset because she was late. I didn't really care, but I mean, I wish she would have been on time, but you know, it's fine. It's Nicki. It was worth. Nicki's performance was amazing. Like, her performance skills are kind of underrated. I don't think there's a female rapper that performs better than Nicki Minaj. Nicki, wow, like the way the crowd knew every word, like, and this was a festival. This wasn't her tour. This was a festival. That's how you know she has influence. That's how you know she has reach and pull, because she, like, everyone knew the words to those songs, and like, being around that energy was great. Like, being around energy where people also like appreciate Nicki Minaj, like, wow, I love that woman. She did amazing. I was so close to her. Wow, it was just, the energy was unbelievable. And then J. Cole performed. J. Cole performed for like 3 hours. I swear, oh my God, he would not get off the stage. I was so tired of J. Cole. Like, I was so over him being on that stage. Like, he needed to go. I was so oh my God, I did not want him to be there anymore. But it was okay. He did good. He did a little. He did good. But I was ready to go at that point. But yeah. And then what was I gonna say? I was gonna say something else. I will say, I kind of regret not going on Nicki's tour and going to Dreamville instead. It just is what it is. I mean, it's too late now, but to go, because I mean, she's already done her East Coast leg or whatever. But I don't know. I just feel like I would have preferred seeing Nicki for 3 hours than seeing a bunch of artists that I don't care that much about. Sorry, like even SZA. I listen to SZA's music. Seeing her live, it was nice. I'm not gonna say like, I'm not gonna be like that, but I'm just saying, like, I personally, like, with my personal preferences, would have preferred to just see Nicki the whole time, like see Nicki for 3 hours straight, like her tour is, like, as opposed, like, instead of like seeing these other artists that I didn't really care about. But you know, it's fine. I mean, I still got to see Nicki. Cross it off my bucket list. Next is Beyonce. Hopefully Beyonce goes on a tour for Cowboy Carter, but I think she will. So I'll see her. Hopefully I'll see Beyonce then. But yeah, that was like my Dreamville experience. It was great overall. That was last weekend. Yeah, so now looking forward. I'm going to the beach in like 2 weeks. There's not much going on in my life right now, I'm not gonna lie. Like, I'm just chilling, like doing what I can. But yeah, I encourage everyone to stream Cowboy Carter. Stream Pink Friday 2 as always, though. Never stop streaming Pink Friday 2. Nicki is releasing a FTCU Sleaze remix, which I think is featuring Sexyy Red. So that is something that I'm sure everyone's excited about. But I think that's pretty much all that I have today. Like, I kind of covered a lot. I spent most of the podcast talking about my professional life. I apologize for that, but y'all don't understand how like much this means to me and how that changed my life forever, like literally. But yeah, that's pretty much all I have for this solo episode of COR Meets World. Thank you so much for listening, especially if you made it this far. As always, I should have a sign off. You know how like podcasters and like people who make videos, they always have like a sign off, like, as always, stay blue. I don't know. I should make up one of those. Anyway, that's not the point. Yeah, as always, if you made it this far, thank you so much for listening. I appreciate it so much. And yeah, I'll see you next time. Bye, guys.